So, it is Wednesday, March 3rd, 2021. Can you believe it? It's 9:02 a.m. U.S. Pacific Standard Time, and I am James Hake, and we're doing my newfangled thing. I don't have one of my own songs for you just right now, but I have an excellent song for you by Bright Lights, which is John Parfitt, Jon Parfitt, Parfitt, who does the Fallen State intro song. Not the New Order one, but the newer one. And he does the break music. I mean, he made the songs that we play for my breaks at the top of the second hour. So enjoy this one at the top of the first hour. Hit it. Very nice. I want somebody. Never mind. I better not sing. I'm going to destroy the song. Ruin it. Oh. Guys. Isn't this nice? Isn't this a nice vibe? Too quiet? Too loud? Just right? Just right, press 1. Too loud, press 2. For the music. And too quiet, press 3. Hake, please change the picture on your YouTube. Those eyes, Jeffrey Shiflett says. Thank you for the request. I just might. You know, it has crossed my mind to do that. I thought it would be funny. And then Nick said, oh, it's hilarious. Okay, so turn it up a little bit, Joel. I'm getting a lot of 3s. I gotta say, hey guys, I will say that later. Thanks, Joel. Y'all need Joel on this. Okay, I have to tell you that I owe you some super chat readings, text messages, and things like that. I will get to those. Remind me, okay? Remind me. Now I'm getting 4s. I don't know what 4 is supposed to mean, Mahmoud. I will be getting to the Democrats who want to keep you dependent. Some of the younger people and some of the whites do believe in socialism, even on the so-called right wing. Believe in socialism. I think that's a bad idea. I think you should get what you work for. You don't work, you don't eat. And the FBI director is still scaremongering about white terror. And it is ridiculous. And I have some information about this John Earl Sullivan, who was at the Capitol riot, stirring up trouble. He was a Black Lives Matter Antifa guy. Was he, though? Was he? I have some information that the left came up with, the evil people. I have some information about the Capitol officer who died. Is this too loud? Is the music competing with my voice? I don't know. It feels like it might be, but I don't know. If it's bad, press 2. If it's perfect, press 1. But I will get to your calls, guys. 888-775-3773. All of the lines are busy, though, right now. All of them. So hang tight. Hang tight. Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney, I will get to him, too. Mitt Romney got a black eye and stitches. I'm getting some 1s, a couple of 2s. Mitt Romney got a black eye, and there are a lot of people, celebrities and politicians, who get black eyes. And for some of us, it seems very suspect. Very suspect. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Maybe I'm joking around a little bit about it. Texas is opening up. Los Angeles, California wants to open up. And there are problems with crime increasing all around the country. How long is this song? Oh, okay, cool. Nice. Way too loud, turn it off, says Brennan. I don't know if you guys are joking around. It's like listening to elevator level. Okay. Nice. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed the Jesse Lee Peterson show. I did. And you can give super chats to the Hake Report on Streamlabs and on Trovo. Streamlabs.com/The Hake Report. Trovo.live/The Hake Report. All right, guys. Let's get on with the show.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
Hey guys!
Oh, it's the Hake
Terrible.
Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
So, how are you all doing? I am fine. Colin Barrett says, play some AC/DC. Yeah, good luck getting that through the censors. The censors? Is that what you call people who exercise censorship? It's just terrible. Don't be swinging that arm too fast. Yes, I get overconfident with my back and then I mess up stuff. I think Joel's making fun of me. Yeah, isn't that so disturbing about these politicians with their black eyes? I told you guys about this in Hake News at the end of hour 2 of the Jesse Lee Peterson show today, and I was joking around about it. Mitt Romney, Illuminati, confirmed, because a lot of the Illuminati, according to one going conspiracy theory, they do some type of sadistic or masochistic humiliation, perverse ceremonies or rites, rituals, initiation type things, where they hurt each other, give them a black eye, and then they have to go out in public and lie about it and say, I fell on my treadmill. I fell playing with my grandchildren. Some innocent lie. That's the theory, right? I don't believe it. Nor do I necessarily disbelieve it. But anyways, look at this picture of Mitt Romney. It reminds me a lot of Harry Reid, who also, several years back, got a black eye. And it was an ugly black eye. Mitt Romney's, at least he's already a little bit tan. And then he's wearing a mask like a liberal. Over his eye, too, he got stitches. Terrible. This guy, can you imagine I voted for him for a president? At least it was against Obama. But he was speaking to reporters. That's a Reuters picture. Credit to Jonathan Ernst. Here's a picture of Obama. Allegedly, I don't know if this is photoshopped or what. Maybe Michelle hit him. It's pure speculation. I don't want to smear Michelle. I don't think she's a violent person. But at least not physically. But look at him.
She's still the boss.
She is still the boss. She's the backbone of the family. She's the rock.
Michelle, the rock of the Obama family.
See? Thank you. But this is him talking in front of that green marble stuff. Does that mean he's talking in front of the UN or something like that? I don't know. But Barack Obama from several years ago talking, and it looks like he might have a shiner, although he's a little bit darker skinned than many of these other politicians. But these guys, politicians and celebrities with beat up faces, show this. I got this from The Sun back in 2018. Somebody showed this to me. I don't know if it was Nick or what, but show this. I have a couple of clips inside of that folder with all those pictures in there, and they're both B-roll silent video, just moving screenshot of websites. Show the first one. This is from The Sun in 2018, I believe. Fake brews, crazy conspiracy theory suggests dozens of celebs. This is Prince Philip. He looks wicked. Look, did you know that it happened to George W. Bush, if you're watching the video? These guys with like shiners around their eyes. George W. Bush, it's at least on the outside of his cheek, just right next to his eye. But he supposedly ran into a microphone, okay? And there's that guy who had a drug problem who played Iron Man. And then there's this woman who, maybe she accused some man of hitting her. I don't know who that is. That's a person who looks like a woman, but that's actually the guy who sang Major Tom, right? Major Tom, David Bowie. This one is horrific. This is Harry Reid, if you're watching the video. Harry Reid, his eye actually got like black. Not his eye, but underneath his eye. That was ugly. He's a senator from Nevada, a Democrat, an evil person. This is a picture of Prince Andrew. Prince Andrew, younger guy, looks like a wannabe Mike Pence. Look at this man. This is a picture of that guy from Happy Gilmore, the movie Happy Gilmore, Adam Sandler. He, back in 2011, he had a black eye. I didn't think Adam Sandler was into that evil stuff, even though he's like Jewish. This is the guy from, that's Perez Hilton. Perez Hilton. He's a I didn't not know that Perez Hilton looked like that with orange hair. Look, Pope Francis even got a shiner and a butterfly bandage around his eye. Nasty. Look how evil. I mean, Pope Francis. And I use the term Pope loosely, right? Some of you guys, some of you Catholics believe in the empty seat version in which after Vatican II, these popes are all fake, which I can definitely understand. But look at this guy. George W. Bush. Is that Prince Charles? I forget what his name. But that's from The Sun. It's a sleazy foreign outlet. Sparking claims that they are members of a secret society, and even show the second clip. This is Jimmy Carter. And by the way, Jimmy Carter and his wife Rosalind Carter, they're still alive. At 95 years old, Jimmy Carter, back a couple years ago or less, he supposedly fell. And usually when you fall, you break a hip at that age, which I'm not advocating people breaking their hips. Can you see that clip, that second clip? There you go. Oh, no, not that one. It's inside the, we're showing the robot dog. It's inside that folder, I think.
Let me check. Let me double check.
It should be 13, I think, inside the Black Eyes folder. Clip 13. Jimmy Carter. It's just some pictures of Jimmy Carter that I show in video form because I was just trifling and lazy. Do you see it in there yet? Inside of the Black Eyes folder. 3-13.
It's not compatible with Wirecast.
Ah, darn. Okay, well, actually, I think you guys saw a screenshot of Jimmy Carter anyways. Yeah, Jimmy Carter, former president, sports a black eye after falling at home. 95 years old. This is from 2019. So what, now he's 96, 97? I guess he has that, he has that female spirit or something, keeps him alive. Because usually men die earlier than that. But his wife looks like she had, I didn't realize that she had her face kind of stretched. I wonder if that's plastic surgery. This is a conspiracy theory that they, Baba Gucci guys texting me asking me if it's a conspiracy theory. It is a conspiracy theory that these guys do something, some type of ritual, maybe a perverse type of ritual, and they get, they go in public and lie about it. And then one guy tweeted to me after I tweeted yesterday that Mitt Romney is Illuminati confirmed, that he stopped taking his adrenochrome, which I think is like baby blood that keeps you young or keeps evil people young. Terrible. So yes, it is. You know, I received some super chats that I did not get to in the form of text messages from one of the guys, Will, my intern. Could be a modern day Mark of the Beast, yeah, but it's not permanent. Will says, I don't know how to super chat you anymore, so I'll Venmo you, but when I was in 7th grade, there was a race riot at my school, too. It was 1997, and it was the Mexicans against the white skater kids. Wow. Where are you from, Will? California? Maybe so. Wow. There were not enough white skater kids in my school when there were crazy fights, including big fights. It was the rebels, the rebel empire versus, I don't know, like the greasers or something like that, which they're the same thing, right? I don't remember. But there were, Mexicans hating each other and hitting each other like crazy because they had pretty much taken over El Monte, California. No, I did not go to El Monte High School. No, I did not go to Temple City High School. I went to Arroyo High School. Anyways, yes, you can super chat via streamlabs.com/the Hake Report or Venmo, that works, or Boomer Chat to the Bond P.O. Box to James Hake, care of Bond, C.O. Bond. I'm a white skater kid, born and raised. Were you a violent white skater kid, Seth? I was homeschooled by Obama. I was homeschooled a couple of different years, 3rd grade and 6th grade. Anyway. Speaking of humiliation, real quick, let me just show you this John Brennan, embarrassed to be white. This is a little, I got this from Revolver News. The evil John Brennan guy, he's the former CIA chief. You know how I make fun of the FBI because Comey ran it? And now Christopher Wray so-called runs it? Well, this guy was the chief of the CIA, the head of the CIA, John Brennan, who made a name for himself going on CNN to smear Trump and just be beside himself, just embarrassing himself, honestly. But he claims that he's embarrassed, increasingly embarrassed to be a white male amid the attack on the Republican counter-narrative on January 6th. There's all kinds of speculation that goes on about the 6th, both from the right and from the left. But his CIA hacked senators' computers they were investigating CIA torture, according to, way back then, according to amgreatness.com and Revolver News. He made it during a segment talking about the CPAC mess, because there were supposedly a number of Antifa and BLM agitators who infiltrated, allegedly, the protests. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. There was one guy who called himself Antifa BLM, but he was called a provocateur and a grifter. Who else is there other than that in BLM? Everybody from Al Sharpton and Louis Farrakhan and Jesse Jackson, all the way through DeRay, Jonetta Elsie, or whatever her name was. What's her name? The woman who ran from Jesse Lee Peterson, who couldn't answer whether she whether she supports capitalism or not. Patrisse Cullors. They're all grifters and just egotistical people. Barack Obama himself, a phony. But maybe this guy is more off the deep end than that. This John Earl Sullivan guy, light skin, black, Antifa BLM Utah. BLM Utah says, he was never part of our organization. Whatever. Anyway, he was on MSNBC's TV show with Nicole Wallace, one of their TV shows with Nicole Wallace. And she giggled when he said, I'm increasingly embarrassed to be a white male these days in light of what I see my other white males saying. Your other white males? What type of... Is this guy a normal white? He doesn't seem like a normal white. Definitely not a Christian, I'll say that much. Former head of the CIA. Anyway. Just people making a joke of themselves. There's another guy who's supposedly a Republican, who was governor of Ohio, John Kasich. This was shared by Revolver News too, and he's like, well, Trump reminds me of an old boxer who thinks that he still has it, and he's throwing punches, but those punches have no sting. I was not impressed. Yeah, right. I mean, since when have you ever been impressed with Trump, you liar? So it's a bunch of phony people who go on these platforms. CNN, MSNBC, MSDNC, and embarrass themselves pretending to be embarrassed for Trump or for white males or whatever. Give me a break. And I admit there is some times where we may believe something that's not true because there's so many lies going around. The mainstream media is endlessly lying. They lie by calling Trump a liar. It's just a big mess. So you have to be careful what you believe. And so sometimes, occasionally we get it wrong too, right? We, the people who are on the right. But it doesn't mean that they're not liars. They are liars. It's ridiculous. It's terrible. Including Officer Brian Sicknick. And then I will get to calls. Let me just plow through this story. Brian Sicknick is the Capitol Police officer who died. FBI Director Christopher Wray refuses to disclose Capitol Police officer Brian Sicknick, 42 years old, who died on January 6th or actually, I think it was January 7th that he actually died, the day later, something like that. After 2 months, this was January 6th, now we're approaching March, 6th almost. That would be Saturday, right? A New York Times report headlined, Capitol Police officer dies from injuries in pro-Trump rampage. Initially said Sicknick was killed by a blunt blow from a fire extinguisher. But Wray says there is an ongoing investigation into his death. Chuck Grassley who's an old-time Republican guy. He was the senator pro tem. He's like the oldest guy on the so-called good side. He was asking the questions. Chuck Grassley is the only person that I know of who's remotely interested in like the truth, or at least pretends to be interested in the truth about this January 6th thing. The whole rest of them are trying to fearmonger about whites and Trump supporters and Republicans, and they hate what's right. So the investigation's going on. Have you not determined the exact cause of death? Grassley asked. That means we cannot yet disclose the cause of death at this stage. But have you determined the cause of death? Grassley pushed him. I didn't say that. We're not at a point where we can disclose nor confirm the cause of death. Clear as mud, he said. Let me clarify. Well, Revolver and the Federalist point out that New York Times claimed pro-Trump supporters overpowered Mr. Sicknick, 42, and struck him in the head with a fire extinguisher, according to 2 law enforcement officials. The paper reported 2 days after the riot. And I remember confusion about this. I had some confusion about this because I thought I knew that this guy had been hit in the back of the head with a fire extinguisher, and he seemed okay, and then he collapsed and died. But I also saw that some former fireman or something like that, an old timer, got indicted or charged or arrested or something like that for throwing a fire extinguisher that hit 3 officers but did not kill them. Not the same fire extinguisher that supposedly killed Sicknick. So that may mean that they got their 2 stories and jumbled them together into a made-up story. I don't know. The paper quietly corrected its reporting with an update more than a month later, almost 2 months later, pinned to the top of the page as Democrats' impeachment proceedings wrapped up weeks after subsequent reporting had debunked its original claims that the death came as a consequence of the fire extinguisher. The liberal page updated on February 26th, which is a month and 20 days after the riot. New information has emerged regarding the death of Capitol Police officer Brian Sicknick that questions the initial cause of his death. You guys probably all know this information. I'm just getting a little bit more specific than I had previously known. February 2nd, weeks before that, CNN published a story in which medical examiners ruled out the idea that Sicknick sustained any blunt force trauma, let alone a fire extinguisher. ProPublica published a story casting doubt on New York Times fire extinguisher story on January 8th, a couple days after the riot, right? With comments from Sicknick's brother Ken, who said that Brian texted the family hours after the attack that he'd been pepper sprayed but was doing fine. I don't know. House Democrats cited the Times' unproven story with their impeachment memo, saying insurrectionists killed a police officer, Capitol police officer, by striking him in the head with a fire extinguisher, the Democrats claimed. But actually, his family doesn't even know. I don't think that the brother knows. And his mother, Gladys, said to the Daily Mail that they so far believe their son may have suffered a stroke. At 42, I don't know, but that's crazy. He wasn't hit in the head, said Gladys. We think he had a stroke, but we don't know anything for sure. We'd love to know what happened. So honestly, nobody knows. It would be nice to know. I wonder why they're so quiet about it. Interesting. What a mess. Anyway, I got to get to some calls. Let me get to Samuel in Sweden. Samuel, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, and, I wanted to keep updated about my upcoming stream, as I usually do.
Nice.
Every week. But I forgot to mention something to Nick, because I heard that this month, March, is the Women's Month.
Yeah, it's Women's History Month. Oh, gosh.
Yes, I created the Vikings History Month.
Vikings?
And Vikings History Month.
Okay.
March is Viking History Month. And let's offend some women. No, really, not really. But, I wanted to make a funny History Month. So
nice.
I created it. And I will be talking about a Viking on every of my streams. I think I'm going to make a compilation. So this Sunday stream, I will talk about a Norwegian Viking who actually became king over Norway through big battle. He was also a Christian Viking.
Okay.
There was a lot of them.
Vikings.
But
Christian Vikings. That's nice.
Yeah, well, he was brutal. So, but, Christianity was different back then, I guess.
Right.
Or not.
Yeah.
But I say not because I think the Pope and the other Christian leaders are pretty brutal when they're brutal in their way.
Yeah.
Even if they don't waive access and hit people like that, they are mean people.
Okay. Well, I look forward to hearing it.
I wanted to mention, there also one of my topics for my stream is abortion, and it's because someone in the chat, I think it was yesterday, talked about defending abortions because women would do them anyways if it was illegal, so it should be legal. And I thought, I don't think I have talked about abortion and my thoughts about them and all these things. I would talk about that, and I will also talk about, I think criminal punishment and how you should look at it.
Okay. Nice. Trump at one point said that women should get punished once abortions become illegal, and I agree with him. But the female pro-lifers freaked out about that, and the rhinos freaked out about that and said, no, that's so wrong. It should only be the men and the doctors who get punished. No. You have to hold women responsible for the evil that they do, too. They're just pretending that the women are victims. They're not. Anyway, I look forward to hearing it.
Okay, nice. And, there's a long line of wrongs that lead up to everything, but I will be talking about it just because, it's not just like a woman gets pregnant without reason, and there are always other situations, usually that they don't have a good family situation, but...
Very true.
Not the baby anyway.
Nice. Appreciate that, Samuel. That's true. Abortion is not the only evil. It's a symptom of many other evils that take place. It's crazy. I appreciate it, Samuel. It's good to hear from you.
Nice, and have a great day.
All right. You as well. Take care. Let me get to Dennis, a first-time caller in Maryland, who has a question or maybe a comment. What's up, Dennis? How are you?
Yes, Mr. Hake. Democrats, I call them Democrats.
Okay. Nice.
Which basically they're destroying our country from within. They want to bring all these illegals in, and just destroy us.
Yeah, that's true.
And they want to. The illegals they're going to make the United States look like where they used to live, like Mexico or Haiti or wherever they were. Basically, they're basically bringing their culture, and they're going to destroy us from within.
Yeah, it's already happening, man. It's already happening. And the Democrats and the rhinos both are total weak, evil kiss-ups. And that's what they're doing, too, with the shutdowns. It's turning America just ghetto. I was up in Santa Monica. I say up because I kind of went into North Santa Monica recently, and I saw some restaurants and places that used to be all nice, used to be just a beautiful stretch. Now they're boarded up. There's trash on the street in front of it. It's dirty. It is disgusting. It just looks ghetto. It looks like homeless people stay there now. It's terrible. It's like transforming the country for the worse. And yet the World Economic Forum thinks, oh, these shutdowns, how quiet was your neighborhood? Wasn't that nice? That's good. We need to keep the shutdowns to combat climate change. It's so evil. Yeah, and the illegals are part of this.
America needs to wake up.
Yeah. And the legal, honestly. They're bringing in, ever since 1965, the Hart-Celler Act, right? Pushed by Robert Kennedy, right? Wasn't it pushed by Robert Kennedy? One of those guys.
Yes.
And they lied and said, oh, this is not going to change the racial makeup of the country. Of course it is. And it's going to change the demographics badly for people who don't actually believe in freedom and keeping things clean. So they
don't believe in God.
Yeah.
They don't believe in anything. They believe in just using people and destroying people's lives.
Yeah. It's so true, man.
I'm sorry to say, there's a lot of them that are coming in that they don't care. They just want to basically, if you look at their country, it's destroyed because they were there.
Yeah.
They're bringing their thoughts and their beliefs into our country, and they want to destroy ours too.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to stand by. And I'm sorry about that 9-year-old boy. His parents just let him, basically walk down, to the, coming to through our borders. I mean, I heard that this morning.
Was that a real story, or was that just a imaginary scenario pushed by that guy?
No, that was a story. That was a story. A 9-year-old boy.
Deport him. I don't care. Anyway, yeah.
I mean, his parents were supposed to be loving parents.
I know. Give me a break.
Yeah, what kind of loving parents will let, exactly like Jesse said, what kind of loving parents will let their 9-year-old son just walk to the border without any food or clothes or anything, just basically let him go?
Yeah. And I think that guy is in charge of our so-called Homeland Security or something like that.
Yeah.
Alejandro Mayorkas, Secretary of the DHS, Department of Homeland Security.
Yeah.
Snake.
Our country is going to hell in a handbasket.
Yeah.
And we're just watching it happen.
Right.
Unfortunately, we can't do anything. That's the bad part of it. I mean, there are people that want to do something, but they can't do anything because every time you turn around, they call you a racist. If you even say anything, they call you a racist.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's true. But who cares? We got to keep on saying it anyway.
Yeah. Yep. We got to keep on grinding.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you got to hit your head against the wall too many times.
Right.
Either you die or you get through the other side by breaking the wall.
How old are you, if you don't mind my asking, Dennis?
25.
Okay. Nice. I agree. I mean, just even the name Democrat, it's just an ugly name. Demon rats.
Demon crap.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, That's a bad thing.
Yeah.
But I just think that we need to stop the illegals somehow from coming in, because I mean it's just like an army. Instead of China sending their army over here to destroy our country, they're just letting all these illegals come in, and they're gonna all of a sudden do whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way they're going to do it, without even using their armies or anything. It's just basically they know that they can't win in a fair fight, so they got to have some kind of other ways to basically.
I will say that we the people, and when I say we the people, I mean the older timers have been involved in this fight and have been able to shame Republicans into at least weakly standing for what's right. There have been times when John McCain and Marco Rubio and other sleazy people, including George W. Bush and others, have tried to bring in amnesty, work with the Democrats, and work with the phony corporations who are enemies of America, who like all this stuff. And we have stopped. I say we. It hasn't usually been me, because I haven't been the one calling my representative or whatever. But people have been calling their representative and emailing. But calling especially gives, I think that it has more weight when you pick up the phone and call. The representatives, especially the ones who have any semblance of listening. I think it does have an effect when you do that. And I used to call the Democrats. I would get hung up on. I would call like Dianne Feinstein. But that's one little quick thing that you can do periodically. And especially when you hear of stuff like this coming up, to address them and call them on their weakness. Because the Republicans can stop it if they want to. Anyway. The people who are in office. So.
Well, I voted for Trump, and I voted again for Trump.
Yeah, me too.
I have a feeling our votes didn't go anywhere. I don't know if my vote even counted.
I know.
So I don't know, and nobody wants to do anything about it. None of the media, they don't care. Oh, even the judges, the Supreme Court judges, they don't care if we had a fair election.
Yeah.
It seems like nobody. I mean, Department of Justice, FBI. None of these people are doing their jobs. They're just basically, it depends on who you are. If you're a Democrat, you're in the left. They'll let you do whatever you get away with murder.
Yeah.
I mean, you could just get away with murder, but if you're on the right, they get you for jaywalking.
Yeah. No, it's so. Yeah, you're so right. They don't enforce the law equally. They have a disproportionate. They come down extra hard. Both the media and the government come down extra hard on whites, on Trump supporters, on anybody who's for what's decent and for what's right, or even hints at being for what's right. They get extra harsh scrutiny and treatment and unfairness. It's not the blacks who are getting the unfair treatment. They get special treatment, which is unfair, honestly. But, yeah, it's true. Anyway, Dennis, I appreciate it. It's good to hear from you.
Thanks, Hake, Mr. Hake.
We'll talk again.
We have a great day.
All right. You too. Take care.
Take care.
Very nice. In 2016, Clinton so-called won Maryland with over 60% of the vote. Trump received 33.9%, allegedly. That's 2016. In 2020, Joe Biden was the projected winner, according to NBC News, which is a far left. And Joe Biden got 65.4% less, 65.4% more than Hillary Clinton. But Trump got just about the same what he got in 2016, 32.2% of the vote. 33.9, 32.2, not too much different in Maryland, which includes D.C. and Baltimore and Annapolis. Far left. Traitors. Traitor voters, right? Anyway, quickly, let me get to Al, a first-time caller in Michigan. I have lots of calls to get to and a few stories to get to as well. Al, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing, James?
Doing fine as well, thank you.
Okay, great. Listen, I don't know who's answering the phones, but you guys got to watch him. He's rude and...
Sorry, Al. Don't come on and complain about Nick. But thank you for your call, Al. Call again when you have some sense. It's not sane or logical to come on to the show and complain to me about Nick or anybody else. Actually, you're banned from the show. You're banned. You're banned. Just like that. Al is banned from the Hake Report. He can apologize, but he's banned. Speaking of banned, didn't Earl get banned for a while? He was on very thin ice. You know what? Hang tight, Earl. I will get to you. I have to cover some of this stuff. I don't want to miss it. There was a so-called civil rights activist who died, and I have somebody who has called in, is on the line, wants to talk about him, and I will get to that. That guy's name is Vernon Jordan, who was a Clinton guy. And oh my gosh, I watched this CBS report about it with that. There's this black female who's in the CBS This Morning team, right? And these so-called white simps kissing up and pretending that they're about what's right. And this guy didn't stand for anything good. He died, rest in peace. But nothing that they said about him said anything that makes me think he had any good character. He lived a long life. That's nice. Good for him. But I'll get to that. There's this drama going on about Neera Tanden. Neera. Last name Tanden. Tanden. Whatever her name is, right? And she decided not to, she was nominated by the simp President Joe Biden for the Office of Management and Budget. On her Twitter, she calls herself Director of OMB nominee, liberal, Indian American, which means Indian, not American Indian. Feminist, mom, wife, not in that order. And her website, she's based in D.C., aka the Swamp. She's part of the Swamp. Contributes to the destruction wrought by the Swamp. She is a Swamp person. AmericanProgress.org is one of her websites. And her pinned tweet as of yesterday was from November 30th, 2020. And she brags, after my parents were divorced when I was young. I didn't think that Indians' parents got divorced. What? My mother relied on public food and housing programs to get by. Now I'm being nominated to help ensure those programs are secure and ensure families like mine, which she doesn't have a family. If she's married, that's not her family anymore. And once her parents divorced, that's not a family. That's a broken family. Anyway, she said, can live with dignity. It's not dignity to get a divorce. It's a shame. Anyway, she said, I am beyond honored. But she is known for being just kind of off the deep end, evil person. Actually, I think liberals hate her. The far left people hate her, and she is far left, but You know, there's infighting amongst them. They call her a moderate, which just means that she's a maybe a less off the deep end communist. It's disgusting, but she withdrew her nomination and Joe Biden accepted because there was all this drama from Republicans and some far left people. She's mean on Twitter, not very ladylike. I mean, if you can tell by the fact that she calls herself a feminist and a liberal. But the Office of Management and Budget, I guess they handle food stamps, public food and housing programs. Terrible. And there's this drama, there's this simping going on by this guy named Garrett M. Graff, among many others, right? Who's a liberal male. Kiss up. He said, the idea that Neera Tanden's nomination failed while so many of the jokers and clowns of the Trump administration were confirmed. And he mentioned, hi, Richard Grinnell, who's the homosexual guy who was the UN ambassador or something like that. I would say for a homosexual, he's fairly competent, though. For a homosexual. Is a testament to the cynical, broken, sexist system. And then somebody complained about HUD because Dr. Ben Carson was in charge of HUD, Housing and Urban Development. And I'm like, Ben Carson was one of the best things that happened to HUD. HUD should not even probably exist because Housing and Urban Development under Clinton, under probably George W. Bush too, and under Obama was all about redistribution of the ghetto. Taking black single mothers and their children out of Section 8 housing in the ghetto and putting Section 8 housing, putting them in to middle-class neighborhoods so that they live in a less high-crime area. But children of single mothers are high-crime people. Frequently. And so anyway, it's just a terrible mess. These people don't even belong in the government. They don't even honestly belong in America. But we're overrun with this. We are overrun with it. Demon rats, I like to call them. Or demon crats, as my previous caller called them. And rhinos, honestly, giving them more credence than real Americans like Trump, or you, or me, or Steve King, Congressman Steve King, or Paul Gosar, who I've heard good things about. I don't know much about him. Cobra Koi 99 says, when they talk about reparations, where does that end? If so, why not just pass out reparations for all races? Yeah, I mean, that's what they want to do. The Democrats were like, we should have recurring, what is it called? Stimulus checks coming out? Recurring stimulus payments. They want it never to stop. They want to spoil, bribe, and corrupt you and people. Several Senate Democrats are pushing for the Biden administration to include recurring stimulus payments in the pending pandemic recovery package. They didn't need to shut it down in the first place. It's all a lie. An update on... Should I read this out loud, Nick, about Al? Okay. You're coming in kind of quiet, just so you know. Anyway, thank you. I did hear you. Al is... He's just... Everybody got their issues sometimes, right? Sometimes. But, yeah, I'm not for that stuff. A lot of you guys were for Trump bucks, and yeah, of course. I mean, it is our money, and many people, not me, many people were forced to shut down. Many of my favorite coffee shops and restaurants, not that I go to a lot, but the places that I like to go every so often, closed down permanently. In fact, most of them shut down permanently. From the communist shutdowns. Oh, who was I about to get to? There was somebody who was on the phone that I was about to get to. Earl. Okay, you're right. Let me get to Earl in Michigan. My second favorite caller. Who is he still on probation? I haven't mentioned it, but he is on probation. What's up, Earl? How are you doing?
Hola, buenos dias.
Guten Morgen. Guten Morgen.
Now, you say I'm on probation.
Yeah.
For what?
For
Probation for what?
For being out of control.
You're silly. All I do is speak my mind and so forth, and you don't
Your
like
mind
it
is dirty. You speak dirty.
So is yours. And it's
That's my
warped.
show. I have the right to do what I want with my show. Your mind is dirty.
Yeah.
I'm not as dirty as you are on my show.
Well, that's your opinion.
It's
Because you
also a
have a
fact.
dirty, stupid, racist mind.
No, that's your
But,
dirty mind thinking that my mind is racist. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know my mind.
Your mind is filthy.
No.
It's stupid.
Your mind is filthy. By thinking that my mind is filthy, you're just looking through all the filth in your mind at my mind, and it looks filthy to you because your mind is the filthy mind.
Okay, white wing racist, whatever you say.
Thank you.
Nazi Klan number, what else?
Nothing that you just said is true.
But to Bobby of Texas, his comment yesterday, I don't know what racism is. I don't know several other things.
Yeah,
The
Bobby
big
in
baby that
Texas.
He
called you out, didn't he?
Probably lives with his mother and still drinks formula milk.
What's wrong with that?
Say what?
What's wrong with that?
I don't know, but because you're probably a big baby too. You probably live home with your mama too.
Whatever.
But
you're just trying to imitate Jesse.
no, I don't imitate Jesse.
Yeah, you do.
If I want to imitate devil, then I'll imitate Jesse. But you said that I that I didn't know that I said something about David Duke and Steve
King?
what's his name?
Steve King, Congressman
No.
Steve King.
No, the one from Louisiana.
Oh.
The senator from
Scalise? Oh, yeah, Steve Scalise. Yeah, Steve Scalise.
Steve Scalise.
Yeah. Yeah, you got the story wrong. Asmodor corrected you on that.
He was wrong. How did I get it wrong? You said I lied about it.
Yeah, you claim that he spoke at the event that he spoke up, that he put together or something like that. Which it wasn't true. He spoke at the same hotel at the same hotel that another event held by David Duke or with David Duke in it also took place at, but it wasn't even the same event. It's just the same location.
He spoke at David Duke's thing. He apologized for speaking there. He made 4 different excuses for it. The last one was
why do Americans, Earl? Let's get to the deeper issue. Why do Americans need to make an excuse or apologize for speaking at a fellow American's event? I thought this was America. I thought we had the freedom of speech in this country.
He does. Nobody said he didn't have a right.
So why does he need to apologize? Why does he need to apologize or have any excuse?
They just mentioned that he did what he did. He's the one that denied.
Now you're playing innocent when you're not innocent. You're dirty.
He's the one denying that he did.
No. You claim.
Why is he denying it?
You claim that it's fine. I said, why does the culture have it so that somebody needs to make an excuse or apologize for speaking at an event held by an American citizen who has love for the country?
Because evidently they disagree with whatever the event stands for, or if you agree with it, then acknowledge that you agree with it, not run from it and deny that you ever
Are you
were there.
pretending? Are you pretending that Steve Scalise agrees with David Duke about something?
I don't know what he spoke there. He made the comment that,
And I don't even know that you're right. Asmodor says, Earl, first of all, this is ancient history, but Asmodor says Bill O'Reilly had David Duke on, and David Duke even said it was a completely different event.
And
You just lied and said it was the same event.
no, I didn't.
Yeah, you did. You said it was at their event.
Yes.
And that he apologized and made excuses and blah, 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 blah.
And he did.
That doesn't mean anything except that Steve Scalise is a kiss-up phony politician, if it's true.
So,
if it's even true, which you don't really tend to tell the true stories, Earl.
no, you don't. You
even think that this guy even thinks
you're trying to run from it.
This guy even thinks that Trump is responsible for the riots. Give me a break.
You tend to run from it. You tend to lie for him.
Lie for who? Lie for who? And run from what?
Any person that you want to defend, any white rain, racists and so forth, you always make an excuse for him.
Earl, I'm not even defending Scalise, nor am I defending David Duke. I'm just defending the right of Americans to speak at fellow Americans' events. And scum like you, who are hate-filled people, pretend that you're better than David Duke when you're not. You're worse than him, or every bit as bad as him. You're every bit as bad as David Duke, Earl.
Am I any more hateful filled than you are?
Yes.
You are darn lie.
Yeah, you're blind, Earl.
No.
Why do you care about comparing yourself to me?
Hate-filled people like you.
Why do you compare? Hold on, Earl. Hold on. Why do blacks feel the need to say white people do it too? I'm no more hateful than you. I thought your standard was right and wrong, but you don't believe in right and wrong. You believe in white and black.
Is that your pitiful excuse?
You're the one with the excuse for the hatred in your heart.
You just made a pitiful example. You just made a comparison of Black Lives Matter rioting compared to the folks at the Capitol. So
no, there is no comparison, Earl. I never made any comparison to that.
Same thing.
Earl, I never made any comparison with that. There is no comparison. Earl.
Because of what the people...
There is no comparison. Black Lives Matter is way worse. There's no comparison between the so-called riot at the Capitol, which there was some rioting, and the riots across the country, extended riots of Black Lives Matter and Antifa. There's no comparison. Earl?
Yeah, you're right. There's no comparison, but you're wrong about which one. There's no comparison to Black Lives Matter. You call riot to the White House, to the Capitol building, because it's more serious at the Capitol building where you had the second person in leadership position, life threatened and so forth. That's far worse than anything the Black Lives Matter was accused of.
Show me the proof. Show me the proof, Earl, that Vice President Pence's life was threatened. Show me the proof.
I guess you didn't see the obvious videos of them trying to break down the doors saying hang Mike Pence.
Nope.
What was that
not
for,
true.
James?
They were not saying hang Mike Pence as they were breaking down doors.
What were they saying, Jay?
They were not showing. They were not saying that.
What did they say? Give him a banana? What were they saying, James?
They were not saying hang Mike Pence as they were breaking down doors. You just made that up.
I said the door to where they thought he was in. They were pushing against the door.
There's no evidence.
Shouting.
There's no evidence that they were going to hang Mike Pence.
Oh, no evidence?
Nope.
Oh, they had a gallows outside the somewhere on the property.
A gallows.
They had built
a gallows.
A gallows.
Yeah. Earl, that was it. It was an art project. It wouldn't have hanged anybody. It was about this high off the platform. I'm holding my arms roughly less than 3 feet high, apart from each other. Those gallows was an art project. The noose looked like it was hooked on loosely, like, so if anybody hung on it, it would have hanged on it. It would have broken. That was not a real gallows, Earl. All of your mess is a bunch of drama. You're just being dramatic.
So much crap trying to make excuses.
I'm not making excuses. I'm telling the truth about what happened. You're the one exaggerating.
They got tapes and videos of them saying, "Hang my."
Are you pretending that the Black Lives Matter riots didn't happen?
Did you see it? Did you see any of those videos that they were showing people pushing against the door, trying to break in, saying, "Hang my fence"? Did you see any of that?
Nope. Earl, did you? Are you saying that the riots didn't happen?
Do you deny it happened?
No, I don't deny that it happened, but I didn't see it. Earl.
Then what you arguing about?
Earl,
You saying it didn't happen?
You're the one saying that the riots didn't happen. Black Lives Matter. You say so-called riots.
You saying they weren't.
Goodbye. Name the super hateful thing that Duke said, says Asmodor. There was nothing to apologize for. It was cowardly of Scalise. The event Scalise spoke at was called the Euro Conference, and Scalise did apologize, but it was not a David Duke event. Interesting. They're scaring whites to even be white. Anyway, what a mess. Isn't that nice? A little bit of peace. I got to take a quick break, guys. I have the lines almost full. One line open. I'm not taking Al. I hanged up on him just again. He's banned from the show. I have more stuff to get to. You saw a hint of a robot dog. I'll play that for you. It's a lot of stuff going on. But hang tight, guys. I will be right back in a couple of minutes here. Oh, whatever song. Okay. Yeah, thanks. Be right back.
Without your love, without your love, without your love, I am a ghost. Without your love, without your love, without your love, I am a ghost. Without your love, without your love, without your love, I am a ghost. Without your love, without your love, without your love, I am a ghost. Without your love, without your love, without your love, I am a ghost. Without your love, without your love, without your love, I am a ghost. Without your love, without your love, without your love, I am a ghost. Without your love, I am a ghost.
Good morning, past, present, future. That was a Hake Report theme song performance recording. Just an offhand recording from a couple of years ago, actually. From the man, the legend known as Past, Present, Future, who created it, by the way, the JLP/Bond Discord. Did you know that we have a Discord? I think I have a link to the Discord in my description. I am remiss in giving any attention to the Discord. One of you guys, Ali.A, told me to check my Discord DMs. I'm so bad about all that stuff. IG, Twitter, Hake Report Twitter, James Hake Twitter, James Anton Hake Twitter. All these, it's terrible. You know, yesterday they were still calling it an armed insurrection at the Wray thing, despite no one going inside the Capitol being armed, according to Asmodor. And I've seen them repeatedly, and Tucker Carlson pointed it out, say, oh, this violent insurrection left 5 people dead. One of them was a Trump supporter. That's the only one due to direct actual violence, at least that we know of, by the hands of a cop. And the whole rest of them seemingly had health issues. Maybe the stress, right? The stressful situation. But all kinds of, a lot of boomers and older people and people with health conditions showed up because they care about the country and they couldn't handle the stress. Some of them freaked out amidst all the mess. And they died. They couldn't take it. But most of the people at the riot, at the Capitol protest, were not rioters. But there's a whole lot of people getting charged for stuff. What a mess. The FBI director, Christopher Wray, who should have been fired a long time ago, he's every bit as bad as James Comey, I think. Said domestic terrorism is metastasizing. The problem of domestic terrorism has been metastasizing. I think that's what happens when cancer starts to spread or something like that, or take hold and spread, metastasize. Whatever that means, right? And the Wall Street Journal, which is a Rhino outlet, this was a headline shared by Revolver News, which Revolver is decent. Wall Street Journal is not, for the most part. They're a bunch of rhinos, cowards. They smeared PewDiePie, the great PewDiePie. They hate whites. They hate Christians. They hate America. They hate Trump. But Christopher Wray talked to the Senate Judiciary Committee at a Tuesday hearing yesterday, right? Right? Yes. Says it's not going away anytime soon. Oh, yes, job security for the FBI. Give me a break. The solutions for so much of this stuff is what Jesse Lee Peterson talks about. Family, men, morals, returning to God. Not letting women run the show like cowards. But women and female-minded liberals think, oh, we need adoption services. We need to take care of these babies so that you don't abort them. You're not pro-life. You're pro-birth. You just want to control women. You're a misogynist if you're against abortion, right? That's what they say. And they say, we need to have programs and stuff, and counseling, school counseling. We need to not focus on crime. We need to focus on schooling so that they can get brainwashed into liberals and homosexuals. We've seen that homosexuality, LGBT, self-identification is through the roof. It's at nearly 16% among the young people, the Gen Zs, supposedly. Supposedly, right? According to CNN. And it's like almost 9 or 10% among people my age and Joelle's age, I think. From Joelle's age to my age, it's like 10% of the people our age believe in, they think that they are LGBT stuff. And then Gen X, it's like 3%. And then the older people, boomers and older, and traditionalists is like 1% or less believe that they are LGBT. Of course, at that age, many of the LGBT people who live many times self-destructive lives die off. But it's not naturally that high unless it's promoted as cool. It is cool now in their minds. Not cool. It's ridiculous. Anyways, same thing with this domestic terror stuff. It's metastasizing. We need the FBI to infiltrate these groups and expose them. Who's going to expose the FBI? They've been exposed many times, but the people are so blind that they keep on giving credence to them when it benefits them. Earl, so blind, hates the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers and all that stuff. When most of those guys are just America-loving or Western civilization-loving people. Maybe sometimes a little misguided, or, you know, they're just kind of lost in trying to find what's right, you know? There's so many people who are like Jordan B. Peterson listeners and all of them who are for they just trying to find what's right. Anyway, in some cases, it seems like people are coming up with their own sort of customized belief systems. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Duh. That's just human nature. He's saying stuff that's just obvious. And they put it together, maybe combined with some personal grievance or something that's happened in their lives. Trying to take your arms around that is a real challenge, he said. Because you can't control people's thinking. Mama, that's Christopher Wray talking at the Senate Judiciary Committee, which the whole purpose of this Senate Judiciary Committee, which is run by Democrats, is to just smear whites and scaremonger about whites. What were you doing about the white supremacist stuff? Around 300 people have been charged with federal crimes in connection with the riot. And, you know, they've dropped charges with regard to the Black Lives Matter riots around the country, the Antifa riots. And no, it was not Trump supporters. It was not mostly Trump supporters. You can find, because the families are so out of control, there are more conservatives probably who go a little more wild than they used to. Used to be that we were all like pretty well raised, and so we wouldn't act out. But now there are more people on both sides who are willing to act out and misbehave, right? And honestly, a lot of people look at the boomers and how so-called well-behaved they are and are sick of them because they're weak. And so they're lost, they don't know how to act. So they do act out. So of course some Trump supporters will act out. I think that, I don't think that Baked Alaska is an infiltrator. I think he's a sincere, slightly misguided guy who's just kind of lost and trying to, I don't know if he's even trying to do what's right. Maybe. I think he's just, whatever. People call him a grifter, which I think is a buzzword used too much. They're also calling this Black Lives Matter Antifa guy a grifter. Who's not? Who's not for himself? Just an egotistical person. Very rare to find one. So all the people accusing them of being grifters, that's their dirty minds. Accusing people willy-nilly of being that. As if it's like a real criticism, because most people are just for themselves. Anyway, Trump's supporters, they think it was the riot by former President Donald Trump supporters in Congress. As Congress was certifying Joe Biden's supposed election victory. The alleged crimes ranged from trespassing to conspiracy and assault charges. And that's the Bureau of FBI challenge in stopping politically motivated violence before it occurs. Give me a break. The problem is not political motivation so much. Yes, lies are evil. But this whole thing about, claims of election fraud are a lie, that's a lie because you have no way of knowing that it's a lie. Nobody honestly knows. Well, I'm not going to say nobody knows. Maybe some people do know. I don't honestly know. And YouTube does not honestly know. Google does not honestly know. Twitter does not honestly know what really happened. Because nobody has really looked into it. I mean, some people have looked into it. And they're making claims. And they're getting banned. Anyway, Mr. Wray and the FBI currently has said the FBI currently has 2,000 open domestic terrorism investigations, double the number that the Bureau was actively probing when he became so-called director in 2017. He took over after James Comey. What a snake. Anyway, Dick Durbin, who I told you about, he's the Judiciary Committee chairman, Democrat from Illinois. He said, for too long, our federal government has failed to address the growing terrorist menace in our own backyard, calling the rioters the latest incarnation of a violent white supremacist movement that has terrorized fellow Americans. Most of those guys were not so-called white supremacists. In fact, none of them are, because it doesn't even really exist. Wall Street Journal is a rhino outlet, and they call it clear affiliation with white supremacist ideology that one defendant, don't know what he allegedly did, but from this riot, right, had a Camp Auschwitz sweatshirt. Okay, so there's this spurgy guy wearing a Camp Auschwitz sweatshirt. Doesn't mean he was a so-called white supremacist. A whole lot of Zoomers nowadays, the younger generations, they don't take the Holocaust seriously. They don't. Even the people who are not so-called white supremacists. I was arguing with a 13-year-old online who came on some stream that I came on to. And this guy, he was making Holocaust jokes. And then he got all mad when this Jewish guy that I was bantering with made a mention of black out-of-wedlock births. He's like, you can't say that. That would be offensive to blacks. I have black friends. That doesn't sound very white supremacist to me, but it sounds like he would mock the Holocaust. That doesn't mean that he's a white supremacist. Because white supremacists don't kiss up to blacks. Not usually. If the people who are called that, right? It is so rampant. People make jokes of everything. The further you are removed from this major propaganda push, the less you take it seriously. Boomers fall for the racism thing like crazy in ways that Gen X and Gen Y, we don't fall for. They got all that drama about the dogs and the fire hoses, as if those were racist dogs and racist fire hoses at the riots, right? The race riots. And anyway, what a mess. So they're pretending that that was white supremacists. But most of the people were not even, they were just people concerned about the direction of the country. And they well know that the mainstream media lies to them. And they completely ignore the BLM Antifa supporter who was there. Were his charges dropped? I don't know. I know that he's out of jail, right? They pretend it was all Trump supporters. It wasn't. But yes, some Trump supporters do get a little out of control. Young, but that's a sign of the moral problem, not an ideology problem. Chuck Grassley is the only guy who's remotely trying to keep these people in line. Chuck Grassley being a senator, the old guy. But this Earl Sullivan guy, before I get back to calls, the far left Upworthy. Did you know that Upworthy still exists? Oh my gosh. I had no idea that Upworthy still existed. Upworthy is an online website that shares viral, feel-good, liberal values, propaganda, and just empty, vapid stories that make you feel nice, right? Anyway, they have this story about Earl Sullivan, or this write-up, debunking that this Black Lives Matter Antifa, light skin, wild hair, threatened President Trump, just a mess of a person. He's allegedly not even really BLM, but he's black and a liberal and a trouble stirrer, just an out-of-control person. Some group called Rebellion Baby put out a long Twitter thread back in January, and so did this sleazy, dishonest, evil person named Max Blumenthal. He's a writer. He has smeared very dishonestly Jesse Lee Peterson like 16 years ago. He's just a establishment, disgusting writer, right? So-called journalist. or columnist, maybe I should call it. I don't know. A propagandist. Anyway, this guy, John Earl Sullivan, who was from Salt Lake City, and he went to Portland, Oregon, I think, and he was kicked out of those protests for being all just out of control, wild person. And some people think he has ties to the far right because his brother, John Earl Sullivan, his brother, can you have a picture of John Earl Sullivan? E-A-R-L-E is his middle name, but John Sullivan. He's this light-skinned, black BLM Antifa supporter who went to the Capitol to, quote-unquote, get familiar with what these Trump supporters are really about. His brother James is a co-founder of a pro-Trump organization called Civilized Awakening and has strong ties to the Proud Boys. Ooh, give me a break. And spoken at a Proud Boys rally. So did it. Didn't a Black Lives Matter supporter from New York, a sleazy guy, evil guy who's been on Fox News multiple times, he spoke at a MAGA rally because they let him. They gave him the microphone. He said, oh, we just care about police. We don't want police to be out of control. But he's out of control. But he doesn't have a clue what he's talking about. This is the young John Earl Sullivan guy. Supposedly his brother's a right-winger and he's a out-of-control attention seeker. Jaden X, Activist John are some of his nicknames. But he came out of nowhere in June 2020 after the George Floyd mess, allegedly, according to these dishonest people. But Utah's BLM chapter tried to banish him from the scene because he's so out of control. He's too out of control even for them. It's not good PR when your people are out of control. And yet they still don't condemn riots because riots are the language of the unheard. Anyway, this guy's a mess, but he was at the Capitol riot and he was let out of prison without having to pay bail. Let out of jail, I mean. And they say, by the way, Upworthy says, a very small percentage of the BLM protests overall were violent. But some instances were instigated by white supremacists, which don't exist. 2 cop killers. I mean, the killing of 2 police officers in Oakland was supposedly part of the Boogaloo Boys movement. And I don't know if that's even true, because these people don't really tell the truth. But anyway, what a mess. So that guy may not be officially BLM. But I thought that nobody's officially BLM. It's not an organization. Yes, it is. Anyway, Tammy in Wisconsin wants to comment on something that's been going on in the background. And then I will get to Steven and the rest of you guys. Hang tight. What's up, Tammy? How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. How you doing?
Doing fine. Thank you.
Well, I just want to know where Waldo was.
Where's Waldo?
Yeah, is he hiding on a rock up under the White House? Hunter Biden? He disappeared.
Oh, you're talking about Hunter Biden?
Yes, I am.
Hey, it's been a long time since I've heard from you, Tammy. I forgot about you.
Yeah, well, you know, I got my opinions, and you got your opinions, but I want to know where Waldo is.
You're talking about Hunter, huh? Where's Hunter?
Yes, I am.
I don't know. He's in hiding. They're hiding him. I heard that he was marching. He was in that parade when Joe Biden thought that he was being inaugurated. He was at that parade at the inauguration thing.
Right.
Shameless. Typical shameless. You know, that's what helps people.
Well, thing is that I just don't see them tracking him down, you know, doing the investigation on his ass because he's a Biden.
Keep it clean, Tammy.
I'm sorry I said ass. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, they're not interested in getting to the truth. I mean, look at the FBI. They're a bunch of racism fearmongers.
Well, okay, and what about camel toe?
Don't call her that. Don't call her that, Tammy.
Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yes.
Okay.
Kamala.
Okay.
Jeez.
It's easier for, I get mixed up.
Are
with
you
things,
drunk?
But
You don't drink.
no, I'm not. I've had a couple of drinks, but I'm not drunk as of yet. I live in Wisconsin, the drinking capital
You're not what
of
you
the world.
You're not what you consider drunk. You may be
Right.
drunk. You're not what you consider drunk. Tammy.
Right.
Okay.
But,
Very good questions. I gotta go,
say
Tammy. We'll talk again.
Okay.
Call me when you're sober.
Oh, I'm sober, honey.
No, that's not sober. When you've had a couple of drinks but not drunk yet, that's not sober.
No.
Have you eaten today?
Honey, I got all day long to go.
Have you eaten?
So,
Have you eaten?
I live in Wisconsin. It's the drinking capital of the world, okay?
It's supposed to be the cheese capital. Have you eaten today?
No, honey. If you looked at what my son showed me last night, we are like 5 or 6 places in Wisconsin that we are named the #1 drinking place.
Okay, no, I believe that, but it's not something to be proud of. Have you eaten today?
Hey, you live in this cold damn weather, you gonna drink, okay, honey? But okay, I'll talk to you later. But
answer this question for me. I'm curious. I'm curious.
Swallow at?
Tammy, have you eaten today?
Yes, I have.
A hearty breakfast?
Oh, yes, I have.
All right. Anyway.
But swallow at too. Up
Right.
for the nasty Pelosi.
Okay. We'll talk again, Tammy. I appreciate you. Take care.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye. Poor son. What a mess. Somebody said, James, calm down. Don't be a beta male. I don't want drunk ladies or any ladies who've been drinking. I day drink too, Tammy, says blank. I'm hiding the name because you guys should have shame about it. It's just like smoking pot. You guys should keep it in the closet. We should keep our issues in the closet. It's not something to be proud of. It is not cute, especially when you're old. What a mess. I know people, young guys, who've quit drinking entirely. I know some guys who quit drinking before they even reached legal age to drink. And anyway, the cold is not an excuse. I mean, I know that the Germans supposedly drink to keep warm, but I think that just warms up your extremities and then it cools down. Anyway, I don't want to get into it. Anyway, I got to get to Steven in Mississippi. It's been forever. Steven, thank you for holding. What's up? How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Nice.
I can't say the streamer's name, but 2 days ago, there's a streamer put out a live video. He was in Mexico at the border, and it is a crisis. There's thousands of people there. There was COVID cases. There's children running around everywhere without parents.
Yeah.
And he was saying, he interviewed one Mexican guy. He said the coyotes are showing up to the camp and getting the kids and taking them across the border.
Wow. No, of course it's a crisis. It's a crisis on both sides. Americans don't want this. Mexico doesn't want this. And many of the illegals are miserable, but they're just so blind that they'll just do anything.
Biden's administration is trying to hide it because they're all wearing like Joe Biden shirts, and they're all complaining to Joe Biden. Where's my job that you promised? Where's my citizenship you promised? They're complaining on Joe Biden because he screwed up.
Yeah.
He caused this crisis.
Right. I mean, he's such a soft, weak, wishy-washy person. Of course they're going to just take advantage of him and steamroll over him. And then he's going to say, I mean, he doesn't mind being evil, though. He doesn't mind being cruel. He's for abortion, by the way. He's pro-abortion.
They're saying in 3 months there's going to be like 5,000 children over here without parents.
Yeah.
It's going to be that bad.
That's what Obama let happen. Obama let the unaccompanied alien children, UACs, come across the border like crazy. And the great Sheriff Joe Arpaio was like, we're the most powerful nation in the world, and we can't stop these people from coming over here. I don't buy it. There's something going on. And he's right. So, yeah. I'm glad that you gave me the tip on that. I totally believe it. I hadn't even really considered what it's like down there.
Yeah, it's a YouTube video. You can do a little research. I finished it, Jesse, but you can do a little research and you'll find it.
Yeah. No, I believe it.
It's enlightening to see all that.
Yeah. And Alejandro Mayorkas, the Cuban Jewish son of a refugee or whatever he is, who's in charge of the Homeland Security, the fox guarding the hen house, a total sleazy, wild-eyed, phony person, is saying, it's not a crisis. We don't consider it a crisis. What a liar. Just always count on these people to lie and count on the mainstream media not to check them on the lies. They're too busy counting Trump's imaginary lies. It's terrible,
so far,
Stephen.
Nobody made a mess since he's been in the president. I mean, it's horrible, the things that he's doing, but just at the borders is just terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it is. And Trump was handling it right as well as he could, you know? So, yeah. Appreciate that, Stephen.
Yeah, no problem.
Take care. Bobby in Texas wants to respond to Earl. Bobby, how are you doing?
Doing good, James. How you doing?
Doing fine, too. Thank you.
Well, it's nice to see that I'm living rent-free in old Earl's brain. I bet he was up all night long crying because old Uncle Bobby got him.
Nice.
Now, I called just to educate him just a little bit. We were talking about the Capitol riot, and he's trying to say they were chanting, hang Mike Pence when they were trying to break into the Capitol.
Yeah.
Well, let's get that straight. Let's say what they were chanting was the Star Spangled Banner.
Wow.
When they were attacking the wall, when they were attacking the Capitol.
Yeah.
And trending on the left media Twitter was hang Mike Pence.
Yep.
But that wasn't the people at the Capitol that were saying that. It was people on Twitter.
Yep.
Which, who cares what people say on Twitter?
Right. And, you know, there were a couple of right-winger guys who said, like Lynn Wood, who is the, I think he went a little off the deep end. It seemed like it. Maybe if I'm wrong, I apologize, but it seemed like he was a little off in saying, oh, Mike Pence deserves, you know, the treason punishment, basically, for not standing with Trump and for a true election integrity. And I think that's a little harsh, or a lot harsh, a little unreasonable.
Treason's a little bit too far to go there, but I mean, I agree that he didn't do his job. He didn't do what he was appointed to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I think every American benefits from a free and fair election, not just conservatives and not Democrats.
Right.
Like, it goes both ways. Like, one day the shoe will be on the other foot.
Yeah. I mean,
you're going to regret that you didn't do what you could when you had the chance.
We should always be for what's right. Just like with the border. What's right is what's right for everybody. And what's right is send them back. They cannot come here. We're not allowed. We're closed. And that's what's right. That's the best thing. Spoiling people and rewarding evil and pretending like we're the solution, running away from your problems is the solution, is not a solution at all. It's only spreading problems. It's redistributing the third world countries and second world, which is communist countries. Yeah, go on, Bobby.
And I feel like also with, like, we're talking about immigration, like, I don't understand, like, I think at this point, you know, the original thesis of America being like, we bring us your cold, huddled masses or whatever, you know, being a country founded on immigrants.
That was just a poem. It was just a poem. It was not
and I'm afraid I'm afraid that day is long past. You know, I think we're well beyond the bring us your worst people. Like, we don't really want your rapists and your murderers and your problem citizens. Like,
we need to work on our own.
We need to work on the people we have in our own country, fixing our own problems. I think they should pretty much shut down the border at this point.
Yeah.
As far as allowing more people in. Like, America has plenty of people. We have a huge unemployment rate. We have people that are just sitting there trying to feed off the country, off the tax dollars. And then we've got administration that's just giving all of our money to other countries. It's like every single dose of vaccine that Biden has purchased is going to go to another country. Like Trump had bought, 800 million doses, which, I mean, it's only 400 because they have to have, 2 doses. But he had 400 million, and you can only, I think we had 168 million adults or something like that. It was under 200 million.
Yeah.
So he had more than enough doses to vaccinate every single American that wanted it.
Right.
And then, and now Biden's like, we got to give them to Mexico. We need to give Mexico some vaccine. So who's paying that bill?
Right.
Mexico.
Yeah. It's so insane. These people are
why are we
dishonest.
Going to reunite these people in America that have come, just because they came to America? Why don't we send them back to Mexico? Let Mexico use their money to get them back to Honduras or Guatemala or wherever they came from, and that's their fault for letting them through their southern border.
Yes.
And what's their southern border like? 15 miles?
Good question. No, it's like tiny. That's so true.
And they're like, they had 3,000 people showed up. They couldn't stop them. It's like, what do you think would happen if 3,000 people showed up to America's border?
Right.
You think they're just going to, overpowered us?
Yep.
There's a bunch of criminals. Sorry. No, we're going to stand up and we're going to put them in facilities like they do now.
Right. Enforce the law.
Because they don't do
law
their
and
job.
order.
We're the ones that have to pay for it.
Yeah. Law and order and peace. That's what Trump has always been about. So you have to be blind, stupid, and dishonest to fall for these lies about Trump and Americans, real Americans, conservatives. Anyway.
It is. It's sad what's happening.
Yeah. I appreciate it, Bobby.
Thank you.
Take care.
You have a good day.
You as well. Mays, my favorite caller in Dayton, Ohio, says she needs to apologize to someone. Mays?
Hello.
Hey.
Yes, I need to apologize to Joe since he said I was all over the place.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry because if you get inside of a maze, do you stand in one spot or you go all through it and be all over the place?
Are you talking about maze? You
Yes.
go all over the place.
Okay, thank you. So I apologize to him if he thinks that's what I do. And now to get with and then in Art, and I want to apologize to Art too.
Okay.
Because I can live where I want to in this country because I have the right. I didn't take the choice to be a gangster, which I could have if I wanted to, but I didn't want to go that way. I lived my life too much to be working for someone else to be a gangster and do the things a gangster did. So he should love his sister too because she didn't want to stay in that same world or be in the world he was in. She did something with herself, and he mad because of where she lived. Don't you have the right to live where you want to in this country?
I think you're misreading the whole situation.
No, he was saying he bet where I live. I don't do this and I don't do that in the neighborhood that I live in. I live in a neighborhood with all kind of people. You name them, I live in a neighborhood.
You're claiming though that Art is mad at his sister for where she lives. I don't think that's the case.
So now can I go over the place with something else?
Yeah.
And then that y'all don't have to worry about Biden. You know why? Because I was listening to Lockwood yesterday.
Go on.
And race first. Biden got that same syndrome. So why are y'all worried?
He got the same finger on?
The same syndrome.
Syndrome?
Race first.
Race first?
Yeah, race first. That's what you talk about every day.
He has. So he's for blacks first?
No, race. Your race.
He's for illegals first?
No, he's for his race. The Caucasian race.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is. And then as I was saying, race first. Y'all can change it since y'all don't like the other
Maze, you're a blind person.
No, I'm not.
You're silly. You're a silly woman.
Well, if I can't see, help me.
No, there's no helping you. You're not open. Give me a break, Maze. You're not open to my correction.
You don't like it or not.
No, you said help me. That was so dishonest.
Y'all think y'all have to give us help.
You're the one who asked for help, pretended to ask for help.
People. Listen to Lockwood yesterday. Listen to what he had to say, that y'all got to help us, that we need to learn how to help ourselves. Please. He needs help.
You're saying Bill Lockwood needs help?
Yes, he does.
Are you the one to help him?
He has the syndrome. I think I'm doing good, but what y'all call good is evil.
Okay.
And what y'all call right is wrong. And then the liberals and the
I just know, Maze, that it's interesting. You call in my show and talk about Bill Lockwood because anytime you talk to Bill Lockwood, he manhandles you. He puts you in your place, woman. Woman, sit down. Where's your husband?
What? We're not discussing.
Bill Lockwood puts you in your place anytime you talk to him. So you have to call into my show. Weak little James and talk about Bill Lockwood. What a snake. Are you T's sister? Are you T's twin sister?
No, I'm not T's sister. I'm not
because T calls into my show complaining about Jesse Lee Peterson, and now Maze is calling my show complaining about Bill Lockwood.
I'm not complaining because if I could have got through, I would have talked to you. I told you I'm not afraid
is
of nothing.
not teachable.
I'm not afraid of you. Got that right. Not through. You all know.
That's why you guys call us cracker.
You said it right. So I apologize for people not understanding.
Thank you.
That a liberal and a conservative are the same thing.
It doesn't seem like your apologies are very sincere.
Well, they are as sincere as they're going to get. And I'm not afraid of anything,
I believe
anybody. Because that's why I ask Caucasian questions that I don't understand.
You need to call in and bring your husband, put your husband on the line.
What's my husband got to do with this?
Because you're so out of control.
Really?
Yes.
That's what you want to control people. Slaves are, that's what you did, control.
No, you need self-control.
I'm not a slave.
You have no self-control.
That's why God gave me a brain.
That's why you need your husband to control you.
So it's like the race first people. That's what I'm gonna start calling you our race first, because that's how y'all talk about it, y'all race. And somebody else's race is
not true. Anytime I talk about blacks, you call in, talk about white people, talk about blacks. Y'all don't look at what y'all do.
You hear what I'm saying? You don't. You don't.
Okay, commie.
You can call me what you want to, but that's not my name. So.
Okay, commie.
You talk about the Muslims, you talk about the Asian people, you talk about the Hispanic people, everybody.
Because they're all in America making mess.
Really? You think everybody making a mess? If everybody making a mess, so what do you drop off with your mess?
I'm working on it.
Okay, well that's good.
I go to church on Sundays.
Really? For what?
That's really.
Some people go to church. Some of them will go to church as the biggest devil when they come out the door.
I know.
And before they go in and out when they come out too.
Thank you. You need to follow God's law.
So
God's law says follow your husband, Maze, and be quiet.
Really?
Yes.
That's really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Just like I said. And then I had one question to ask you. You know that little golden calf that they had at the thing with supposed to be Trump? With that little wand in his hand, what are you supposed to do? Sprinkle some dust and make people something? What was that?
Don't ask me. That was your type of people.
I'm just asking you. I just saw it.
I said, don't ask me. That was your type of people.
Oh, you're not. Oh, my type of people. I don't
yes, your type of people are nutcases. There's probably nutcases who made a golden Trump.
Oh, you said the person that made that nutcase and that nut was down there.
Probably a nutcase. Not too much removed from you.
All right, James. So you have a good day.
Do you know that you come off as crazy?
I don't apologize for what I do.
Do you know, Maze, that you come off as crazy?
What?
Are you aware that you come off as crazy?
Are you aware that you are crazy? If I'm coming off as crazy?
Answer the question, Maze.
I just answered my question.
No, you didn't. You asked me a question.
When did you become a therapist?
Bye. You have a good day. Let me talk to Craig in Illinois. He wants to respond to Earl. What's up, Craig? It's good to hear from you.
Hey, what's up? How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Man, thanks for accepting my call, man. I just wanted to talk about the leader from the peanut gallery, Earl, out of Michigan.
Yeah, that guy's a piece of work.
Man, so is Maze. She sounds like that lady from the Popeyes commercial. Yeah, man. Like, look, man, we're in 2021.
Sorry, guys, for the audio issues. I'm interrupting you briefly, Craig, because your phone is kind of messed up, and I don't know if it's your phone or if it's an ongoing issue with our system. But apologies, guys. Please bear with the audio issues with this phone call right now. Hopefully, it will fix itself.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, man. So what I was saying, man, like, basically, man, like, they both go back back into the days where it was bad. But, in the long run, the way they're explaining it, like it's still going on. And it's not.
I know.
You got this guy that's in office right now that's caring more for immigrants than America right now. What has he done for America since he's been in the office now?
And he doesn't even care about the immigrants, let's be honest. Yeah, he hasn't done anything for America. He's a phony. he doesn't even, he's off. There's something wrong with him. Worse than ever before. Like, he's always been evil, right? Joe Biden we're talking about, right? I think.
Yeah.
And Joe Biden has always been evil. But now he's like not all there and evil. And the younger, worse people, if there is such a thing, I think they are even pushing further. And he's been nothing but a person who's gone with the waves and the winds of the times, which are the times are evil. Therefore, everything ever more insane. That's what they push for. The lesser evil giving way to the greater evil. And that's what Joe Biden is.
I wish they'd go back and do their research a little bit more, because he always talk about facts and all that stuff. But the things that Lyndon B. Johnson used to say about black folks and what he said about that he was going to keep us, but he used the N-word, of course. We're going to keep us
I don't think
voting
that the N-word
Democrat.
meant anything back then. But anyways.
No, probably not. But, that's how they used to program us to get mad about that. And then, I did my research and realized that I've been lied to. But, yeah, man, that's all I wanted to put out, man. I just wish they just, do their research a little bit more and stop crying and try to come up with their facts about something. But they're not. They don't have nothing to back up their argument.
Right. Those of us who can see that this is insane, we need to aim for perfection so that we become perfect, which will force these people to look at themselves more.
Right.
Because they get so insane, they try to get under your skin, and when they succeed, they just feel self-satisfied and they stay blind, and that's not a good thing.
Yeah, it's not a good thing, and then it just makes us look like we're crybabies, we're complaining, we're bullying and all that stuff, and not all of us are on that page. Trust me. Yeah. Man, I work 2 jobs, man. I'm a hard worker. I'm not lazy, and I just wish people was, look at, certain blacks, most blacks, not all like that, what they see on television. Yeah. And do I like the fact that I see whites, Asians getting attacked? No. And that's not right. That's evil.
Yeah.
So, but all right, man, I'm going to let you go, man. There's some of the callers want to try to get in, man.
Thank you, Craig. I appreciate that.
All right, brother. No problem.
All right. Okay. Kivster, I think is the name, a first-time caller in America. As in, I think, the United States of America. I could be wrong. Wants to comment on Christian nationalism. What's up, Kivster?
Hello.
Hey.
And I am from the United States of America.
Nice.
So this new term, I don't know how new it is, but it's Christian nationalism. It's been used a lot. It's used frequently by more liberal people, and it's similar to this term. Yeah, atheists. And on Jesse Peterson, a supposed Christian called in and used that term.
Yep.
So it's even being used by so-called Christian people.
Right. But those people are not Christians either. They live and think like atheists, like females. It was, according to Bill Lockwood, it was first pushed by the Freedom from Religion Foundation, which is an atheist organization that pushes secularism. They hate America. They hate Christians. They hate white people. And they're communists, basically. They're liberals. And so the more liberal, phony Christians who've started calling themselves evangelical leaders have adopted the same thing, but they're not Christians. They're phonies. Jesse Lee Peterson on The Fallen State, before you go on, he interviewed a far left woman who called herself on The Fallen State, and she gained weight after the first interview. Maybe she was having a baby or something. But Jory Micah, and she had no clue what she was talking about with regard to what's gone on with what Trump has done and what the conservatives have done and with the border and all those things. She had no clue what she was talking about, nor did she have any clue what she was talking about with regard to Christianity. And just like everybody else who went to college, she went to seminary, which is Christianese college, and she thought that she should get a job just because she went to seminary as a pastor. Blind person. Blind fake victim. Anyway, She's the same type of person who maybe she signed that statement against Christian nationalism. She thinks that she's an evangelical leader. She's a writer. Anyway, Kivster, I interrupted you.
Yeah. So while I was watching with my friend Bosif, I realized that this term is very similar to another term, like called white nationalism.
Yeah.
It means nothing.
Right.
Because I've been reading recent news articles about AFPAC. You know what AFPAC is?
Yes.
And people were
America First Political Action, AFPAC, America First Political Action Conference, which has taken place 2 years now.
Yeah. Yeah, I watched the whole thing. And all these news articles, they're calling it a white nationalist conference. And I've never heard an actual definition of what white nationalist even means.
Yeah.
Because there was a black person speaking, and like 2 of the speakers were not white. So I don't know how this could even be a white nationalist conference, and it doesn't even mean anything.
It doesn't. But there are people who want a white majority country or whatever, and so what? Like most sane people do want a white majority country. This is how America started, was founded, and it's majority white people who are the only majority who vote for sanity. That is Republicans. At least the principles of nationalism, God, country, family. I don't know what most rhinos are evil, and many I've heard bad things about some of the founding so-called Republicans who had ties to Marxism. But we need actual America first, which is all that those people are about. And so what if some of them are into the white thing? Most people, most human beings of all the other races are into their thing. They're into the Hispanic thing or the Asian thing or the specific country that they come from thing or the black thing. Give me a break. They're pretending that it's so harmful for a white person to be into it. And maybe it's not ideal to be all into your race, but they're putting they're projecting their phony thoughts into the whites when they have no clue. It's really evil. It's just a communist smear against America to encourage America to surrender America to evil. So anyway.
Yeah, and also
if
you look at black states, like with majority black population and with white population, you always the white population is everything about it is better. So it's not like it is racial, but like it just is better. Everyone knows that.
Yeah. I wasn't saying that just to clarify, I wasn't saying that the founding fathers had any ties to Marxism. They were predate even Karl Marx. I was talking about the people at the beginning of the Republican Party. There was some sketchiness there. Anyway.
Yeah. So thank you for letting me call in.
Yeah, thank you for calling in. I'm glad that you caught the thing. I have a question for you because I haven't watched the whole thing, although I did find the source of the whole stream. I did download it, but I haven't watched it. I watched the first 5 or 6 minutes of Congressman Steve King's speech where he defended the South, and it was beautiful. He defended America and Western civilization and stuff. What was the rest of his speech like, in your opinion?
Yeah, it was actually one of the best speeches there. Probably, I don't know, all the speeches were very good. But he talked about Christianity, and it's mainly about the Southern heritage and Christianity.
Nice.
And about how we can't have babies with other people.
Right.
That was one of his most controversial statements, but he repeated it again.
Okay, so that's Congressman Steve King, the guy from Iowa, the guy who's he's gained some weight. He's a little bit fatter than Paul Gosar.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to clarify because somebody left a comment that Steve King, what did they say about him? That he took back pretty much everything that he's ever said. And I didn't get the idea that he would be like that. I thought that maybe he's a little bit of a politician and he plays the politician thing, meaning that he I don't know, he condemns white supremacy, for example, which is a silly thing, like a basically non-existent thing to condemn. But I don't know. I didn't know if he played the politician game too much in that speech or not.
No, I don't think he actually did do that. It might have been. Maybe you're referring. Paul Gosar did something like that. He kind of went back a little, but it was just a little bit. So he definitely does agree with what we are saying. He just wanted to just keep his politics. He still wants to be in office. So
how old are you?
I don't blame him for that. I don't know. I don't want to reveal my age, but I'm a teenager. I'm a teenager.
Nice, man. Well, I appreciate hearing from you, Kivster. Call again if you can.
Thank you. I hope I'll try. I'll try to do it again. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye.
Take care. Very nice. Drater gave a super chat and said, that's on Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/The Hake Report. Thank you, Drater. And he said, Drater, said, Da Hake Report. It's actually spelled The Hake Report, but I appreciate it. And shout out to Fabriets, Brandon M, Noah's Ark, Kansas, Cobra Koi 99, Shaggy Boy, William A 33, Asmodor, Marcus Jones Stinks, Turtle No Neck, Dark Side of the Bear, What? Noah's Ark, Kansas, if I haven't mentioned you already. Thank you guys for the endless support. In the last couple of minutes here, let me get to Blazing Hawgs from Dayton, Ohio. What's up, Blazing Hawgs?
Hola, sí, señor Hake, sí.
Hey.
That was one of the best ways you ever handled maize ever.
Oh, nice. Appreciate that. That's funny.
Man, I mean, you just alphaed up on her. That was nice.
Right on.
Kudos to that. I want to give a shout out to Chrissy in chat from Vermont. She said she posted one of the best posts about the mods yesterday, and I really that really felt good to hear from her. And she is a alpha woman and very nice person, and glad that she's part of our chat family.
Yeah.
And shout out to my hillbilly brethren, Robert Lee, Matt Living the Dream, and Billy Lee.
Yes.
I've been a part of Jesse Lee Peterson for about 6 years, going on 6 years now.
Wow.
And I've seen a lot come and go in the chat. Hey, it's an honor and a privilege to be a mod. I appreciate it. It's great. It's fun.
That's cool, man. I love having you in there.
I'm not in there trying to play God and taking my emotions and anything out or hate and anger out on other people.
Nice.
I really don't. I really dislike that.
Right.
And someone knows I'm talking about them right now because I want them to hear about it because I've been on them all day in chat.
Yeah. One of the mods? Are you talking about one of the mods?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. He's a well-renowned mod and everybody loves him.
Yeah.
But his emotions get the best of him in the after party.
Okay.
Brandon Johnson, I love you like a brother. I've never not loved you. I've worked with you several times with discernment and try to keep your cool. I said, and last night was just the time. I said, this is the fourth time. I'm tired of dealing with it.
Okay.
The way he's attacking another mod. So I'm just, hey, we love you, Brandon Johnson.
Nice. He actually called him out by name.
Hey, Hake is, he said it's a snake pit, right?
Yeah, it is a snake pit.
Hey, some come and some never leave, and some come and stay. Some never come back again. That happens in there.
Yep. There's
some hot topics. There's words said. Sometimes people get a little heated and taken care of. But if you're nasty and malicious and want to, then you're going to be banned or you'll be in a timeout. Marcus Jones, hey, everybody knows who the heck he is. He's in there. He gets under your skin like nobody I've ever met in my life, and this is just through chatting.
Right.
And it's amazing how he gets under people's skin and gets the emotions rolled.
Right.
Matt in the dream, he bans them all the time, and Marcus got 99 counts, and
I know.
Truth ain't one. So,
no respect, huh? No respect for the mods or for the show that we've banned him. We don't want him there because he's just I don't know. From what I gather, he's too much of a malicious person and a snake and just a dishonest guy. and yet he still doesn't have respect for the show. He just keeps on wanting to come in there and be messy. And I get that there are a lot of people who like him, but
correct.
You got to have some respect. And since he doesn't want to have respect, I guess you just got to put up with evil. You can't get rid of evil entirely from the country or from the chat. You got to deal with
correct.
it. Or just ignore it. Yeah.
Yeah, correct. And we do a good job of that. And Joe Kenyon from Phoenix, they're in there. Muhammad's one of their new recruits. And every now
Is that
and then, over
Mahmoud?
the years,
Is that Mahmoud, the guy I call Mahmoud?
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
I love Muhammad. He's nice, but he needs to grab a shovel and clean out a hog pen once in a while.
Right.
But really, hey, we're all brethren and we're all family in there. And I just wanted to say, hey, if you don't like it, then don't come.
Right.
That's what I want to say.
Appreciate it, Blazing Hogs. Have a good one, man.
Love you, Hake. Y'all doing great. Thank you.
All right. Take care. Rick in Hampton, Virginia, and the rest of the callers, I cannot get to you. The show is over. We'll talk tomorrow. Tomorrow is Thursday. Today, I should have a Bond Sunday service premiere on Bond Rebuilding the Man YouTube channel, 4 p.m. my time. Check it out, rebuildingtheman.com/church. It's not up yet, but it will be up later. Hopefully. It should be. And then tomorrow, men's conference, guys, for men only. rebuildingtheman.com/events. Thanks, guys. Take care.